So I thought it'd be cool if I show the process of tuning these carburetors on this motorcycle. This is a BMW 1980 R100. It's a 1000cc motorcycle, and what we're going to do is we're going to tune these their Mikuni VM34 millimeter carburetors onto this bike, and we're doing that using our Dynamite dyno. So let me show you what we did here. We did our first run with this bike, and what we're doing is we're looking for AFR values that are within a cruising range for this kind of bike. So looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of probably like a 13.5 to 14 AFR, somewhere around there, maybe even a 13. That's a little bit rich, but you know, for cruising that's okay. We get some pretty good gas mileage that way. Anyway, so here's where we're at. If you can see this on my computer, this is the first run, and what this shows us here, this graph, is it gives us horsepower, RPM, and then our AFR levels, which is the black line that you see here going across the screen. I'm not sure if you can see that right there, that black line going across. Right now we're reading somewhere in the middle 10s, so that's really rich. We've already changed the jets out. We changed the pilot jet. It had a 140 or a 40 in there. We threw a 35. We're going to go ahead and change that from a 35, and it didn't really have much effect going from that 40 to 35, so I think we're probably going to go ahead and maybe just go down to a 27.5. So we'll speed through the process of taking this pilot jet out of here. We're going to remove the bowl, and then grab a tiny little screwdriver, get up in that pilot jet channel, and you'll see that little thing fall right out of there. Boom, just like that, it's out. Okay, so we've made the changes to those carburetors. We're going to do a test on this dyno and see what changes were made there. What we're looking for here, and you can already see the difference. So here's our AFR gauge right there. It's probably hard to see in the video. That number right now is reading about a 13.2, and it's static. It's really not moving much. 13.3, and that's at idle. That's at optimum idle right now. That's exactly where we want to be. So we're going to see what the rest of this does. So as we get started on this dyno run here, point your attention to the AFR needle there. It's the one all the way to the left in the middle, the smaller needle. And as you see me going through the gears and getting the RPMs up, this gets a little bit richer and richer. That pilot did a good job at idle and down on the low end, but in the mid-range at about a half throttle, which takes us 5,000 RPM plus or minus. You can see it's pretty rich. So we're probably going to have to make some other changes here in the mid-range to get this thing to act right. Alright, so as you saw, our run was still a little bit on the rich side, but overall wasn't too bad. We're probably going to maybe change that jet down just a little bit more on that pilot, or change the needles. We'll look at our data here. So here's what we're looking at. That box right there is kind of what I want to see. So through our range, you can see we're 1140. Low 12s, high 11s. There's 12.5, so it gets better at the low RPMs, obviously. So we're probably going to go ahead and maybe just change that needle out and put that clip back in the center position, put a little bit of a leaner needle in there. If we go ahead and change the needle, then we can adjust our clip position. I'm going to leave it in the middle for now, and we can adjust it to enrich or lean out our mixture once we take it out for another run. So let's change that out. It's really easy. Again, if you're not too familiar with these Mikuni carburetors, all it really takes to change these, take the tops off, pull that spring back, the needle's right here. You can see it's how to slide. All we do is we'll hold the slide nice and tight, pop that needle up, it brings up our holder, get out of there, put our other needle in the hole there, and put our holder back in place. That holds the needle as well as the cable, locks it in place. Put that slide back in there. Alright, we're ready to do this. Actually, we need to put our sniffer on our tailpipe, and then we're going to do it. So as we get started with this run here, you can see that AFR needle sticking straight up.
at idle, which is perfect. It's about 13.5 is exactly where I want to be at idle. But as I start rolling through the gears and I'm gassing it, you can see it get rich, which is typical. It gets down to high 11s, low 12s, still okay. And then as I stabilize at a cruising speed of about 60, 65 mile an hour, you'll see that needle get right back up there again. So about 13.5 is where it's going to be through the cruising range, which is really where we want to be with this bike. We can still fine tune it with that clip. We can move that clip up or down, and that'll enrich or lean out the mixture however we want it on that range. For all intents and purposes, I think we went in the right direction with that needle. So we'll call this done. Our next project is going to be tuning some TM40 side draft pumpers on this same bike. So stay tuned for that video. Should be fun.